Hey, what's up everyone, Matt here. You know, it's rare that a product truly changes my day-to-day activities, but every once in a while that product comes along and creates a shift in how I work and have fun, something you just can't go without. This time, that product is definitely the Boosted Board V2. So I've had this board for a little over 3 months. I got mine pretty early, and since I've had it, I've put over 200 miles on the board. I have the Dual Plus model, which is the top of the range, and that means both the wheels in the back have a motor on them. This is the most powerful model you can get. I had to go all out. I also ordered the extended range battery, but I'll talk about the battery situation in a second. So this is an electric longboard. You take a longboard, attach some motors and a battery, and boom, you're zooming around at over 20 miles an hour. But what sets the Boosted Board apart from some of the competition, I think, is the attention to detail. This is the version 2 of the Boosted Board, and although I never owned the first generation, the second model seems to provide all of the fixes and improvements you would want coming from the first. The battery now has a level indicator built right in, the wheels are now 80mm to help with the ride, there are new trucks, the motor wires are cleaned up, the battery is removable. Overall, this is a clean, tidy board, which is great. The board also accelerates faster, coasts better, and overall, it's just a better board. And with those improvements, you don't lose out on range or speed. It's still rated to go 22 miles an hour with a 7-mile range. Now with this board, you also get a controller. You use it to go forwards and backwards, you can check the battery life of the board, you can change different modes. The modes are important. There are 4 different modes, 1 being the slowest and easiest to learn on, and 4 being the full-out pro mode. So the number one question I had when getting the Boosted Board was whether or not I'd be able to ride it. I've never ridden a skateboard, never ridden a longboard, this is my first time ever on a board. And I've got to say that it only took me a week to get going full speed in level 4, so I'd say even though you've never ridden a board, you could still ride this board pretty well. But even though I'm not a seasoned rider, learning on this board was easy. The remote has great ergonomics, you have a trigger and dial, and the board is comfortable and smooth. You don't ever feel it jolt or go out of control. It was easy to learn. Now for me, there's one thing I will never go without when riding this board, and that is a helmet. I have fallen off this board going full speed, and let me tell you, it was not fun. But I was wearing a helmet, so nothing really happened to my head, luckily. But again, I'm never gonna go without a helmet with this thing. It's just not worth the risk. The helmet's not that big of a deal. That was probably my biggest fear with the board. You can easily get hurt. And you know what? I guess you kind of have to accept that. When you're going this fast on a skateboard, if something goes wrong, it's going to hurt. But that's also where I feel the Boosted Board has great strength. It's really stable at high speeds, glides over most bumps, the remote is extremely responsive, and even though there's always the possibility of something going wrong, you still always feel in control. So let's talk about the battery. About a month into owning my Boosted Board V2, there was an issue with the battery where the battery was venting. I never personally had an issue with my board, but what ended up happening was Boosted Board recalled the Boosted V2 battery. Kind of an annoying thing, but I'm now running the new battery, haven't had any issues, and I'm pretty happy with how they dealt with it. It took a little bit of time, but you know, I'd rather than be safe than sorry. Now when I ordered this board, I also got the extended model, which means I should have had a battery that could go up to 14 miles in range, when this one only goes 7. But that was also delayed. So now I'm just using a normal battery, and once that is available, which they're saying around Q4 of 2017, I will be able to get that battery as well as this one that I have now. So while there was a little bit of time there where I couldn't ride my board, overall I'm happy with how the situation was handled, and now we have a safe board that we can ride. Now as far as range and battery, that will vary dramatically depending on your weight. For me, I get a solid 4.5 miles out of this going full speed pretty much every single time. And when you charge it up, it charges very quickly, usually in less than an hour. But that is the Boosted Board V2. Is it worth it? Absolutely. This is some of the most fun I've had in a long time, and it continues to put a smile on my face even after 200 miles.